I'm from a family that had egg production as part of its diversification in agriculture way back when, probably in the late 50s, early 60s. And so I was born in 1960, which means I was never one of the decision makers that went into poultry or egg production in particular. But my parents went in it primarily because their property wasn't big enough to sustain two families on 400 acres of wheat and sheep. And that's the end of the story. Why have we kept investing in the industry? That's because it's a bloody good industry. It's a really exciting industry. It's a very dynamic industry. And it's one where in agriculture, there's a lot of things that we can't control. And in cropping and livestock, we can't control droughts or floods. We can't control famine. We can't control plagues of locusts or mice. But in the egg industry, we can control a hell of a lot of what we do. And the rewards for getting that right are really high. Sadly, the downside for getting it wrong is also a huge penalty to pay. But primarily, the industry is very rewarding if you have very considered investment, that you work hard in terms of getting your planning right, and that you don't find yourself on collision course with other people in the market that mean that you have to discount to get rid of eggs, just to gain market share, or that you don't simply become a price taker. The future for the egg industry in Australia is very bright. It's always going to be dynamic, and it's about the producers responding to the changes that consumers either demand or as is the case, our major retailers making the decision on behalf of our consumers say that's where we're going to go. It's a really challenging thing in terms of getting the best outcome for the future, of getting that balance right. If we get that balance right, I think the future is enormously positive, and it allows nearly everyone to participate in that future, everyone to be a beneficiary of it. If we get that wrong, there's some tough times ahead. But our industry always rises, and with the technological advancements that have been provided by the equipment manufacturers in particular, to be able to give us great ways of managing our livestock and getting the best out of them, is something that I think beholds us to a really exciting and positive future. COVID-19's had a massive impact. We're one of the blessed industries where it's an essential industry, producing food that consumers want, and in fact, consumers are probably staying at home and cooking and eating more eggs than they would have traditionally eaten. So, from that perspective, it's been great. But from all other accounts, it's been tough doing business. We've got restrictions in our workplace, and we live under the constant threat of having a staff member coming down with it, or a family member coming down with it, and then we'll go through the contacting and the capacity for industry to continue through that is a constant worry for us.